I'm Malcolm Cox, and it's another glorious day here in Croxley Green, so we're outdoors. I hope the background noise isn't too distracting. This is another edition of What We Are Reading. What I'm reading is Zeal Without Burnout by Christopher Ash. How we can sustain our spiritual life for the long run until God calls us home. And this chapter is We Need Sabbath Rests, but God does not. Yes, God is always working, as Jesus said in John 5:17. My Father is always at his work to this very day, and I too am working. So God is always working, doesn't need a Sabbath, but you and I, we're built a bit differently, aren't we? Not just here, we're talking not just about getting a good night's rest, but sometimes just getting away, having a day off, a half day off, a time away to get properly refreshed, to think more deeply, to spend time with God more deeply, and find a way to get ready to go back into the fight and the challenges of the Christian life and all that entails. So if we neglect our need for those times, as Christopher says, we are implicitly claiming an affinity with God that mortals cannot claim. Are you trying to get by with no real time for refreshment? I don't think that's wise, and you're not going to make it long term. Sometimes what we do interferes with our normal patterns of rest, and okay, that's okay. The Christian life can be busy, but if that happens, we plan some time to get refreshed, and then something comes up, something truly crisis, not just urgent, but really a crisis, okay, but then make a plan B to go away and get that time of refreshment. Make sure it is a real crisis, not just somebody wants you, needs you, and you feel heroic in going to try and meet that need. Is it actually a crisis? Sometimes we do things because we like to feel needed, and we like people to meet that need in us, when really it's God that should be fulfilling that need. Yes, people are messy, as Christopher says. Love is messy. Our diaries should be messy, but still, we need that time. Jesus took time away, didn't he? He spent all night praying. He did many things about going away to lonely places. We need that too. If you want some ideas, I can recommend the works of Gordon MacDonald. I read a book of his, Ordering Your Private World, a while ago, and he's written some others, mid-course correction, I think, and something to do with resilience, and something to do with regaining your spiritual passion. Those books helped me, and they gave me a conviction that from time to time I just need to go away, perhaps for a night, a personal retreat, or just for a half day or a long morning. Go off somewhere. I love going to a place called the Dunstable Downs and praying there and being there and spending special time with God and getting refreshed. I read my Bible, I read other books. What do you do to get spiritually refreshed, deeply spiritually refreshed? We've got to remember our resources are limited. I'll read for you a quote from the book. This Christopher's quoting a Scottish minister called William Still. He says this: some meddling ministers, and I think we can put Christians in here, not just ministers if you like, because we're all ministers actually. Some meddling ministers want to sort everybody out. God is not so optimistic. There are some who will die mixed up personalities, and they may be true believers. Don't try to do the impossible. Know your limitations and know what God is seeking to do in this world and what part in it he wants you to play. Most people crack up because they try to do what God never intended them to do. They destroy themselves by sinful ambition just as much as the drunkard and the drug addict. Ambition drives them on. And that's not a spiritual ambition, but a selfish ambition. Let's not be selfish with our ambition. Let's be ambitious for God. But if we're going to sustain it, it's going to mean taking time away deliberately to get refreshed. What do you do to get refreshed? Please leave a message. You can email me, mccx@mac.com, or you can leave a message anywhere you hear or see this recording. I'm sure other people would love to know our different ideas as much as me too. So until the next time, I hope you have a wonderful week and a refreshing Sabbath rest. God bless.